Do you know what I think is underrated? Patience, endurance, faithfulness. I remember several years ago getting divorced and that being one of the hardest, most painful experiences in my life. And although it wasn't my choices that got us there, I'm grateful that I made this decision to do everything I could to save that relationship. Now, that didn't happen, it ended, but what I learned from that experience was not giving up. Having patience, endurance, faithfulness, it helped me become a better, more resilient, happier person over the long haul, and that led to healthier relationships. And in a world where, the world tells us to follow our heart, to value happiness over everything else, I wonder if that pursuit of happiness is really what's making us miserable. I mean, everyone wants to be happy, don't get me wrong, but how many times have you heard someone say they're making a decision just because they want to be happy? And how many times is that the ending of a relationship? But isn't it our deepest, hardest fought, persistent, most steadfast relationships that bring out the best in our life, or for that matter, help us to endure the worst? The Bible has something to say about that. In the book of Matthew, chapter 5, there's a passage where Jesus is addressing divorce. And one of the things I think we can learn from that passage is not just the value of marriage, but it's to not be cavalier with our relationships. Just because a friend does something that upsets us, or a family member says something hurtful, or a spouse is dishonest, our first reaction shouldn't be to divorce that relationship, cut ties, move on. Maybe it should be to have patience, endure, and be faithful. Now, I'm not saying someone should stay in an abusive relationship or something harmful, but sometimes I think we're far too quick to bail in the pursuit of happiness rather than really learn how to cultivate deep, long-lasting, committed relationships. And I think that's what Jesus is trying to help us understand. He's trying to help us live our best life. Real, lifelong happiness, I think, is found in deep relationships with others. And that takes commitment, because there's no tips or tricks. No matter what TikTok says, it's hard. And it takes faithfulness, patience, and endurance. Are you cultivating those in your own life? Are they present in your relationships? For me, some days they are, but a lot of days it feels like they're not. And it's our choice to be marked by those every day. And those everyday choices are what help shape our life for the future. I'm Zach. Thanks for listening to my short sermon.